Sarah, it's great to connect with you virtually about this ransomware topic. I am not sure totally what's going on. Can your team help us understand and make good decisions?
Yes. Well, I've seen some numbers going up and questions coming down. Stealing data is nothing new, but there's old-fashioned break-ins and new-fashioned hackers. People now have enhanced everything with tools and software, and they're really primed to steal our data or our information. And so this is not, like I said, nothing new. It's been done for thousands of years. But today, we're doing something almost like kidnapping our data. When the data is being held for ransom. And again, nothing new. People always took the rock and stole the rock, and now they're stealing a different type of rock. And with this being on the rise, the amounts that people are asking for, the kidnappers, if you will, has gone up. So even though this type of crime has been happening for about 30 years with our digital data, then 30 years ago, a hacker might ask for a couple $100. Now they're asking for over an average of over $100,000 to get your data back.
Wow, that's a lot. Are people paying it and getting their files back?
Well, that's a great question too, because studies really show, or at least the ones I've read about, show that about 70% of the companies that got their data back still had more ransom requests coming in for more money, even though they got their data back, because the hackers would say, hey, we still have a copy of your data. And you don't know. You really don't know if the data, if somebody has encrypted it, stolen it. You pay, you get it unencrypted, you get the data back, but you have no clue whether there's a copy out there.
So what do you mean by encrypted or stole?
Yeah, so some hackers or kidnappers, that I like to call them, don't take anything at all. They just lock it until you pay the ransom. And if you don't have a good DLP, like a data loss protection system, you don't know if they took a copy. Even if you pay, they could still have a copy and use it or call you for future ransom or nothing.
So what can companies do? Call the FBI or the police? What?
Well, yeah, you can do that. I mean, it's a good idea to let them investigate into these things, because it could be a one-off, or it could be a big ring of hackers breaking into an industry or doing something to a company and all of their customers. So unless it's a big case, though, they probably don't have as much time for it. So it's probably better for us to be proactive with our security.
Okay, so what is a security pro activity?
Yeah, so like proactive things are like real-time backups. I know the world loves high availability, and they've stopped doing real backups or stopped backing up in some cases to another site. But just think about it. If your database got locked and it's high availability and it copies every 3 seconds to another site, and that sounds great, except for the moment that it gets locked by a hacker or encrypted, and you're asked to pay ransom, and 3 seconds later your data has written to another site, and now it's overwritten the good copy, and now you're in 3 seconds after that you don't have anything. So I think probably the better situation is to really have a real-time backup. Or you could have a SIM, like a security information management system. Maybe your SOC, your security operations team, runs a SIM. And so you can see all of the individuals that touch all your files and all your data at all times, or the data that you specifically care about. And you can set rules so that when that activity occurs or something occurs that you don't want to happen, you get alerted, or your SOC gets alerted. And then, of course, there are firewalls and access rules that you can update or even review. If you have an expert on your team, a subject matter expert, review those firewall configurations, make sure things aren't changing that you don't want to change, make sure people don't have access that you don't want to have access. And I would say review those more frequently, quarterly or maybe even monthly if you can do that. And then if you have a data loss prevention system, that's great, but a lot of people don't have a DLP, or they don't have an IDS, IPS, like an intrusion detection, intrusion prevention system. But if they do, these can be great deterrents.
Okay, that sounds like a lot of work. Wouldn't it be easier to pay?
Yeah, a lot of people do that, but you are running the risk of getting nothing back or still having a copy out there. Even if you pay the, whatever the amount is, there is a risk that you don't have it all, that they're going to come back for more ransom money. So, it would be better to probably have a plan to do 1, 2, 3, 4 of the things that we're just talking about, and maybe once a quarter, twice a year, something like that. Put one of these things in place and enhance your security posture and decrease the ability of someone to get in and ransomware your site.
Okay. Sarah, your team can help prepare or prevent such things?
Yeah, we really do help companies prepare against ransomware, and a few companies have been able to recover from damages that have been caused by ransomware. So it does cost more than you might think, even just not to prepare, it costs.
This seems like exciting news that you can prepare or prevent having your data kidnapped.
Right, it really is. And our security operations teams already help organizations realize and evaluate the ransomware scenarios and make good decisions for their business, whether it's bringing help or to them or just a conversation to help support their business. And we practice what we preach. We make sure our clients are safe for their data protection situations.